Can you guys hear me in this? Can you hear me? I can't even breathe in this thing, man. There's a lot happening for Star Wars this year. Today I'm going to tell you about all of it. Everything happening for Star Wars in 2023 and beyond. There is so much. My God, I'm literally choking. This is the way. Become a member. Please subscribe so I can afford the rest of the Mandalorian suit. Thank you. I can't. New Year's present from my old boss, Darth Jar Jar. No. 2022 was already a massive year for Star Wars. 2023, however, is going to be even bigger. There is so much happening. Literally so much. Video games, TV shows, films coming out. Not yet, but we'll get to that. If you've been out of the loop, or if you just want to know every single thing that is happening in terms of Star Wars major releases this year, not including books and comics, I'm not covering that. I'll cover one book, okay? One book for you guys. Then this is the video for you. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. So the first thing that's already coming out now is The Bad Batch Season 2. What I love about this series is that it's covering similar themes that we saw in Andor, except doing it in a much more PG way. Instead of seeing people get brutally killed, murdered.
What's going on?
All of the terrible yet wonderful things that happen in Andor, Clone Force 99 here are still using stun blasts. It's great to see them back though. I'm also really excited to see the transition from clones into stormtroopers, what happens with the clones, how their inhibitor chips start wearing off, they start defecting against the Empire, and then most likely are all killed, executed. It's a dark show. For a show that's, you know, targeted at like kids to teenagers, that kind of thing, and other animation, it's quite dark.
I wouldn't tell you if I did.
What are you?
Good soldiers follow orders.
Set during the darkest part of the Star Wars timeline, of course. Now it's a few months to a few years after Order 66. They're still finding their place in the galaxy, and we're going to see what fate they meet. Dark times. The series is also great because it brings back characters like Captain Rex. We got the Emperor making an appearance. I'm sure we're going to see more people show up along the way. Season 2 has 16 episodes. The final 2 episodes releasing on March 29th. Okay, 1 second, guys. I'll be back in 1 second. You'd be surprised how hard it is to see out of this thing. All you get is this. That's it. I'm looking through like a little slot here. Also, it's all fogging up. Every time I take a breath, it fogs up. The Mandalorian Season 3 is released. I can't do this. The Mandalorian Season 3 releases on March 1st. Finally, we get to see the continuation of the adventures of Metal Tin Can Man and Little Cute Green Alien. It looks as though Din Djarin heads to Mandalore in some attempt to redeem himself for taking off his helmet. Although, of course, Bo-Katan wants the throne. We see her sitting on the throne in the trailer. However, Din Djarin still has the Darksaber, so I think there's going to be some conflict there, some tension. Also, Moff Gideon is rising to power somewhere else. He's clearly escaped their clutches and is going to rise up, somehow regain his powers, and potentially lead a new sect of Imperial remnants. Lots of characters coming back like Greef Karga, Pelimoto, Babu Frick as well. And I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of other characters. I've heard that Boba Fett is going to be in the series somewhere. Still no word on Book of Boba Fett Season 2, but I would watch that. I would definitely watch that. And even if in this season we don't get a massive, massive cameo like Luke Skywalker just appearing at the end and destroying literally everyone, you can't go wrong with Mando. It's a different type of Star Wars to Andor. We had Andor, now we've got Mando. Loving the contrast. There's a bit of Star Wars for everyone, and I think that's Disney's goal with this upcoming year. There's a lot more coming out. Next, the big one, guys, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, potentially, arguably, the greatest Star Wars video game ever made. One of them anyway. This one's set 5 years after Jedi Fallen Order. Cal's grown a bit of a beard. He's developed his Jedi skills. You're going to unlock more lightsaber upgrades, abilities. There are 5 different stances in total. Single blade, double blade, dual wield, cross guard, which looks like a heavy kind of stance, and then one where he uses a blaster and a lightsaber at the same time. It looks like Cal has uncovered another dark mystery, just as he did with the Zepho in the previous game. He's likely still on the run from the Inquisitors. The Empire are growing, still at large. Once again, this is set during that same time period as Andor, as the Bad Batch. The events following Order 66, as the Empire are rising to power. I absolutely loved Jedi Fallen Order, as so many of you did. The story, as well, was so amazing. I love going into the lore, the backstory, the little side quests, the details. I made so many videos on that game. Can't wait for this. It's going to be huge. The customization options look insane. Metroidvania, the world exploration, the new worlds we're going to get to to explore, the fact that there's now creatures you can ride, new force abilities to unlock, new characters to meet. There's likely going to be a bunch of cameos in the game as well. Oh, it's got everything. It's got everything we want. And there are more video games coming out soon also. I'll get to them in a bit. Also, I promised you I'd put one book in this video. Star Wars Jedi Battle Scars is a tie-in novel set between the events of Fallen Order and Survivor. Even though this isn't essential reading to understand what's happening in Jedi Survivor, it'll fill in some of the blanks for those wondering what happens between the two games. In the book, the crew of the Stinger Mantis, including Cal, Marin, Grease, Seer, and BD-1, are all still together. And apparently they meet a stormtrooper who's defecting from the Empire and can offer them some kind of information about fighting the Empire, but in doing so, brings them closer to the fifth brother, which is a bad thing because he's an Inquisitor and he's probably going to kill them. I'm assuming the book will also in some way explain how they all get separated, because clearly by the time of Jedi Survivor, as we can see in the trailers, Cal and BD-1 seem to be on their own. There's no Marin, there's no Seer, and there's no Grease. They don't seem to be with them in the Stinger Mantis. So who knows? Maybe the book will explain that. I'm sure the game will as well. It's probably going to be the only Star Wars book I read this year, even if I pick it up. It's not essential, but if you want, there it is. Okay, next up we have Star Wars The Young Jedi Adventures, which is a new animated series marketed at preschoolers and young kids. Probably not going to watch this one. Might catch a few episodes here and there. Not sure. It's set during the High Republic era, which is interesting. I think this will mean it'll be the first show set during that time. We know The Acolyte, an upcoming Star Wars series that's set to release in a few years' time, is set during that period as well. But I'm pretty sure this is the first actual series set during that time, right? It looks kind of cute. Look at the character. Come on. Look at the cute character. Come on. But I'm sure it's going to have a bunch of references, Easter eggs, things like that. It might be worth checking out. I'm not sure. Let's go. Okay, here's one I'm so excited about. Star Wars Visions Volume 2. I think for a lot of people, me as well, Visions Season 1 was kind of a bit hit and miss. There were some episodes that, oh my gosh, were so good. Like the Ninth Brother, like the Ronin. And then some that were a bit like, you know, could do without this. Visions Volume 2 is taking things to the next level though, allowing other studios outside of Japan to develop some animated shorts. So it's not only going to be anime as Season 1 was. Season 2 features animation from Japan, India, UK, Ireland, France, South Africa, Chile, and the US. Studios from all those places are going to be making animations for Season 2, Volume 2. Can't wait. Hopefully at some stage we'll also get some continuations of the episodes that occurred in Season 1, like The Ninth Brother. I think that was the most nail-biting, cliffhanger-y kind of episode. I really want to see what happens after that. Actually, that's probably the most impressive piece of Star Wars media created that's set after The Rise of Skywalker. I really enjoyed it. So hopefully we get to see something more then. All right, guys, the big one. Okay, I'll put the helmet on again just for dramatic effect, even though it doesn't really count. Star Wars Ahsoka is the next series. This is releasing this year, guys. Ahsoka is releasing this year. Can you believe it? This year! Ugh. Oh, apparently there's like a thing you can connect some electronics thing. I gotta try that sometime. He can also talk. It kind of sounds like I'm Mando when I'm inside it though, doesn't it? Like it all muffled. So Dave Filoni's Star Wars Ahsoka series is releasing likely in the latter half of 2023. We know the show has completed filming or is very close to completed filming. We know the characters from Star Wars Rebels are gonna show up, including Sabine Wren, Ezra Bridger, and also likely Thrawn. We know Ahsoka's been hunting down Thrawn for a long time now. She's likely going after him. She's looking for the Blue Man, okay? That's the premise. Padawan with 2 white lightsabers hunts down Blue Man. Also, there's been so many rumors that Hayden Christensen is going to be appearing in this series. So it's probably going to have some flashbacks to either the Clone Wars or another encounter Ahsoka had with Darth Vader at some stage. I can't wait to see that. Oh my gosh, Hayden's back. Hayden in anything is great. Thank you. I'll take that. To be fair, every single time Ahsoka has faced off against Vader, it's been electrifying. Every single Clone Wars Season 7, even though they didn't really face off, there was so much tension in there. And also their encounter in Star Wars Rebels, just absolutely epic. Can't wait to see this. This one's probably on par with Mandalorian as far as hype goes, as far as the biggest series releasing this year. And eventually, of course, all these shows are going to tie up for some major event. Not sure when that'll be happening. Probably still a few years down the track, kind of like an endgame thing. But I really hope this series has a subtitle or something that says Ahsoka, the Hunt for the Blue Man. This next Star Wars series that's releasing this year has kind of gone under the radar. Star Wars Skeleton Crew, the one starring Jude Law, and that's pretty much everything we know about it. It's got Jude Law, guys. All we know is that it's an 80s inspired coming of age series set during the Mandalorian time frame. The show is created by John Watts, who a lot of you probably know from the Spider-Man series. And according to him, this is the story of these kids' journey trying to find their way home. It stars 4 kids, but it's not a kids show. So Once again, this one releasing probably in the later half of 2023. Another video game releasing in 2023 finally is Star Wars Hunters, unless this thing gets delayed again. This game was announced in 2021. I can actually download it on my phone. It's here, it's in the App Store. Look, I'll show you. Star Wars Hunters available right now to download in the App Store. However, it is also coming to Nintendo Switch, and I think I'm going to wait for that release. It's an arena shooter, arcadey looking style game, quite on the opposite end to what Jedi Fallen Order is. Online multiplayer, free to play, including microtransactions for cosmetic upgrades, that kind of thing. Like I said, it's currently available in some regions in a limited version. It's not the final game. They're still adding to it. They're still updating it. They're still improving it, but you can kind of get an idea of what it's like, what it's going to be like. It's not going to be a massive release. It's of course developed by a mobile company, Zynga Games, I think they're called. And I think this is going to be their first console release when it comes to Switch. So probably just the kind of game you can pick up every now and then and have a little play. It is another Star Wars game, which is something to be excited about anytime. It's Star Wars. Why not? Let's do it. Now, towards the end of this year, there's also likely going to be another LEGO Star Wars special. Over the past 3 years, Disney Plus have released LEGO Star Wars The Holiday Special, then LEGO Star Wars Terrifying Tales, the Halloween special, and then Summer Vacation. So in that vein, it would only make sense that they'd be doing another one this year. No details on that yet, what it'd be, but you can kind of assume that every year they're going to be doing one of these. For a little while now, there's been new LEGO Star Wars series developed over the past few years. There's been like the Freemaker Adventures, that kind of thing. So I'm assuming there's going to be another one of these. Keep an eye out for that. That is 2023. 9 major releases this year. Now, beyond that, there are so many more projects in development. We have Andor Season 2, of course. That's likely going to release in 2024. Mando Season 4 is also in development right now. Jon Favreau's been writing it. It was confirmed a while back he'd been writing the series. I'm not sure when they're filming, probably not yet. But that one's probably going to be 2024 or 2025, likely 25, considering how long it takes to make these. The Acolyte is the series I was talking about before, set during the High Republic era. It features a Jedi Master and apprentice. The Padawan uncovers something about the Sith, and then they go hunting after it together. It's kind of like a mystery style intrigue spy thriller, as far as I know. In terms of other Star Wars series in development, no word on the Rangers of the New Republic, whether that one is still going ahead or not. After Gina Carano was fired from The Mandalorian, there hasn't really been much word on this because I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be her series. However, I think they could still rework this into something else featuring the New Republic. Not sure if that one's still going ahead. It was supposed to link up with whatever's happening in Mandalorian and Ahsoka for that big end game style event. So it's on the back burner somewhere. The Lando series is apparently still a thing. No word on whether Donald Glover is still involved or was ever really involved. That's out there somewhere. Also, Star Wars A Droid Story. This is an animated series featuring R2-D2 and C-3PO, currently slated for 2025. Once again, not many details on this one. It's there though. In addition to all these series, there are also several films currently in development. Taika Waititi's Star Wars film is out there. He said he's working on it at some stage. The man is a real mystery, trolling people saying, yeah, no, I'm working on it. I'm working on it after this. We don't know what Taika's doing. No one ever knows what he's doing. He's a mystery man. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Patty Jenkins' film, the director of Wonder Woman. This one was delayed. We don't know when it's coming out, likely 2025. She recently posted an update saying why it got delayed, that she still is working with Lucasfilm, that she wants to get it right, that it will eventually happen, but we're probably gonna have to wait a few years for this one. Now, the Star Wars film that's closest to being finished in development is the untitled Damon Lindelof and Sharman Obaid-Chinoy film. This one was leaked or announced a couple months back. No details on what it is, but it's out there. It's supposed to come out, I think, next year or the one after. So that's there. Also, Sean Levy is working on a Star Wars movie. One of the most accomplished, popular directors right now. I'll give you the list of films and you'll be like, oh, okay. Created Free Guy, The Atom Project, Deadpool 3, way back in the 2000s. He did Big Fat Liar, Just Married. He did Cheaper by the Dozen, The Pink Panther, and The Night at the Museum films. Come on, they're huge films. As far as I know, he's wanting to create a Star Wars film in a similar vein to all of those, in a similar style. It's kind of like a mix between the comedy and the series, the action, that kind of thing. Popular film. I like his filmmaking. They're solid movies. So that's going to be a thing in the next few years. I think Rian Johnson is also still working on a Star Wars movie at some point. That might happen. I think that was kind of put on the back burner after, The Last Jedi didn't meet everyone's fan expectations. Would you want to see a Rian Johnson Star Wars film? I'd go for it. If it's his own thing and set in his own timeline and it's not interfering with Skywalker, so why not? More Star Wars is always good, right? Right? Maybe that's not right. Video games. Guys, we have to talk about all the up and coming Star Wars video games after Jedi Survivor, after Star Wars Hunters, because there's a lot. There are so many. Oh my gosh. First up, the KOTOR remake, Knights of the Old Republic. This is a thing somewhere. It has been delayed, I'm pretty sure. It was originally being developed by Aspire Media, who did all the recent ports, like the Republic Commando port, the Jedi game ports, those. Star Wars Racer as well. However, it's since been handed entirely over to Saber Interactive Interactive because apparently Aspire didn't have the know-how and the experience to develop a full game from scratch. It's supposed to release on PS5 and PC at launch. Sorry, Xbox users. But at the moment, it seems like it's been halted. They're not actually working on it. I'm not sure. It's in a bit of limbo, this one. I really hope it goes ahead. Seeing a Knights of the Old Republic remake is so exciting. I'm sure so many of you want to play this. Make it happen, guys. Come on, get it there. Probably not releasing until 2025 or afterwards, though. And that's being, you know, ambitious as well. Star Wars Eclipse. Guys, this one's a controversial one. The trailer came out like a year and a half ago. Being developed by Quantic Dream, who a lot of you might know from games like Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, and Detroit Become Human. This is a bit of a weird one because they released a trailer and the trailer was a full CGI marketing ploy designed to get developers to come and work at the company, at Quantic Dream. It's literally an ad for developers. Hey, we're doing a Star Wars game. Come work on it with us. Would you like to work at Quantic Dream? Come, join the team. Do you like Star Wars? We here make Star Wars. That was literally what they were trying to do. And I don't think it's worked too well. This one also in a bit of limbo. I think it is being developed, but it's still very, very, very early stages. So don't expect to see too much from this one for quite a while. Now, probably the most in development Star Wars game right now, apart from Jedi Survivor, apart from Star Wars Hunters, is Ubisoft's massive open world Star Wars game. When I say massive, I don't mean the game is massive. I mean the company that's making it, the development studio, is called Massive Entertainment. Maybe the game will be massive too. I hope it's massive. That'd be great. Ideal. This one's developed by the guys who created the Division games, and they're also working on an Avatar FPS open world game right now, which is supposed to release this year. So I think once we see gameplay of that, once we see more of that revealed, we get an idea of what this next Star Wars game is going to look like, because using the same engine, Snowdrop engine, I'm pretty sure. It looks stunning. It looks great. Still a few years off. Be realistic. 2025 and beyond. Same thing. A few months back, Lucasfilm actually said they want to release a Star Wars game every 6 months. So expect the next 10 or so years to be packed with Star Wars games. There's going to be so many. When was the last Star Wars game that released? It was like Star Wars Squadrons in late 2020. It's been ages, guys. Come on. And Lego Star Wars, of course. We had Lego, but you know, Lego's a bit different. In addition to Jedi Survivor and eventually the next third Jedi game, I'm assuming they'll do one, Respawn are actually building 2 other Star Wars games, a Star Wars first-person shooter and also a Star Wars strategy game. Not sure what these are yet. They're kind of behind the scenes, but considering they've developed Apex Legends, I'm assuming they're going to do some kind of battle royale shooter kind of thing. Respawn are very experienced in making shooters now. They did Titanfall games. They've done Apex Legends. So I think this one will be a hit. And the strategy game, who knows what that'll be? Could be a VR thing, could be anything. And there's also one more Star Wars game, Skydance Media and Amy Hennig's game. Amy Hennig actually used to work on a Star Wars game before it got delayed. She was responsible for the Uncharted series. And for a brief period, way back, she worked at a studio called Visceral Games, which were an EA studio back when EA had the exclusive Star Wars license. They were the only ones who could make and release Star Wars AAA titles. Do you remember that video from like 2016? She's talking about the game she's making. It looked cool. It's gonna be like a Uncharted style, you know, platforming, third-person adventure style game, bounty hunter thing. It went through a bunch of different development phases. It had different code names. So I'm assuming what she's doing with Skydance is some kind of revival of that. Perhaps she's developing that in another way. I'm excited for it. Uncharted style Star Wars game. I mean, isn't that kind of what Jedi Fallen Order is? Sure, but we'll see what comes of this one. So in total, there are about 25 up-and-coming major Star Wars projects over the next few years. So much to look forward to. There is also one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. This year, I intend to make a lot of videos, and I need some help doing so. I'm currently looking to hire another editor to help me with some videos, to join my team. I'm gonna leave a link to a form you can fill out below if you want to apply. You need to have at least 2 years of video editing experience. I'd prefer you know how to use Premiere Pro as well. So just make sure you read through the entire form, fill out everything before you actually apply. But you could be editing anything from gameplay to clips, to TikTok videos, to Instagram stuff, to everything online. If you're in a position right now where you're looking for work and you think you could have what it takes, if your schedule's flexible, please fill out the form, and all the best with your application. Massive year for Star Wars, guys. Oh my God, it hurts so much to put on. It like scrapes your face. This is the way. All right, that's it.